Hi everyone. Um, hope some people are watching. I can't tell who's watching. Hopefully some people will join soon. I'll probably give it a minute or two to allow people to join who would like to join. Hope you're all well. This is my first Twitter space by myself, not just asking someone else questions and hosting. So bit nervous. Hope it's okay. Would really welcome feedback from everyone once we're over. We will probably be doing these regularly as the months progress to keep everyone in the loop in terms of what we're doing with marketing activities for Aventus and the Aventus network and community. So yeah, please do let me know what you think of this and any requests or feedback for future ones. Okay. A couple of minutes have passed since I opened this, and I know that it's gonna record and be available to watch later on our Twitter X page for those that are not available to watch right now. So I'm gonna get started. So the purpose of this Twitter space is for me to run you through all things marketing for Aventus, the things that we've been busy doing, what we've achieved so far the last couple of months, and most importantly, what's coming up. Hopefully, some people have noticed that we've started ramping up our marketing activities for the Aventus network and Aventus services, the commercial arm that is its purpose is to drive deals and traffic to the Aventus network. Both of those have been ramping up significantly, and it's just the start. So I'm going to get going. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to cover. So first of all, we're going to go over our marketing strategy, what we have planned for the next few months, why, and a bit of an idea of what goes on behind the scenes in marketing for those that are not familiar and are interested. We're going to go through some pretty exciting updates for the website and our dApps. When I say dApps, I'm talking about the Aventus network lifting, lowering, staking, and governance platforms. We're going to talk about our go-to-market strategy and growth updates. By that, I mean client and deal activity that we're driving to the Aventus network, upcoming content that you'll be able to see on our website and social platforms, and then maybe a bit of a Q&A if I have time and if there are any questions. So, okay, just a bit of an overview of who we are. I'm sure most people watching this already know, but a quick overview. So what Aventus does is we work with enterprises. We help them unlock growth, efficiency, and trust via real world Web3 solutions that really make a difference to what brands need today. We make sure that they are accessible, meaning that brands are able to use them easily. I think we all know that Web3 has a bit of a reputation sometimes for being a bit inaccessible with a poor user experience because it's decentralized. We don't believe that has to be the case. Relevant to their needs and intuitive and easy to use. We have a pretty incredible team. Not that I'm biased, I'm not even talking about myself, I'm talking about other people. You all know Alan. We have an amazing tech team and commercial team and marketing team. And we really have what I think is a unique combination of understanding Web3 and blockchain very, very deeply, but also understanding people who live in the real world, you know, people who are working in businesses, working with consumers on a day-to-day basis, and really understand the problems that we need Web3 to solve, not just tech for tech's sake. We've partnered with a bunch of companies across a bunch of sectors. I think you are all familiar. You can see some of the brands that we've partnered with. You can see some of their logos at the bottom of this slide. So an overview of what we've been doing, what we're doing right now, and what we're planning to do in the coming months. So the ultimate goal of marketing, for us, I think for most marketing teams, is to increase awareness and engagement of the Aventus brand. When I say Aventus brand, I mean Aventus Network, but also the commercial entity Aventus Services, because they're the ones that drive and deliver deals to the Aventus Network. So they really do go hand in hand. So what we've spent the last few months doing is a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you don't necessarily really get to see the results of immediately, but is really, really crucial in order to make sure that the things that you do see in front of the curtain are effective. So we have established our brand tone voice. So every time we put something out, we sound consistent. It means that we are memorable. We come across as professional when we're working with enterprises. That's really, really important. We've done a lot of work and research on who our clients are, who we want to be working with, who we want to be using the Aventus network, what their problems are, and then who we target and how we target them. And also we've researched and started implementing lots of analytics and listening tools so we can really understand if what we're doing is working or not and be able to adapt accordingly. So that's what we've spent the last few months doing. What we're doing right now is obviously we're working, I think most of you will know, with MVP Workshop to enhance the tokenomics of the Aventus network and make it a lot easier and more appealing for people, both community members and enterprises, to interact and use the Aventus network. We can have the best tech in the world. If it's not easy for people to use or they are not incentivized to use it, then it makes no difference, right? We're working on strengthening existing partnerships and client relationships. So we're doing a lot of work within the Polkadot ecosystem with fellow parachains. We're working on pulling a lot more closely to teams, marketing teams within our client network to allow us to talk to their audiences and help them talk to our audiences about what we're doing. We're increasing our social media presence. Hopefully some of you have noticed we've been sharing a lot more on social media. We've had a bit more of a strategy there to help us be a bit more engaging. Towards the end of this presentation, I've got a slide that will allow me to share some of the results there with you, which I think are pretty exciting. Hopefully some of you do as well. And we've started working on a broader content strategy and also the creation of that content. So when I say that, I mean both our social media and also our website. I'm going to dive into a bit more detail in a bit about our website, some exciting developments happening there. And yeah, social media we've already touched on. And we're doing a big push on press, awards and events, realistically, where most enterprises are going to take notice of us and of the Aventus network. It's not going to be on our social media. It's not going to be on Telegram. It's not going to be at the blockchain events. It's going to be in key strategic media outlets that they read. It's going to be strategic events where enterprises are present, and awards kind of feed into both of those. So that's everything that we're working on currently. And then a bit longer term, so over the next like 6-ish months, we'll be working on improving the brand overall. So our complete online presence, from social media to website to how the media writes about us, to other online platforms like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and like Trustpilot and Google reviews, depending on whether we're working on community engagement or enterprise engagement. Making sure everything there is consistent and strong and portraying us in the best light possible. We're going to be launching our pretty incredible engagement strategy mostly for the community on Telegram and also on Discord to really incentivize and reward people being active in the community. The people that are interacting with us every day, always resharing our social media, saying positive, nice things about us on Telegram, giving us feedback when we ask for it. We really want them to be rewarded. So we are working on quite an in-depth strategy there. We should have that launched within the next few weeks, actually. That's one that's going to be coming soon, which I'm really excited about. And then overall increasing market awareness of Aventus amongst our 3 key stakeholders. And you're going to see me talk about these 3 main groups quite frequently in this Twitter space, but also in the coming weeks and months, because these are the 3 categories of people that are really, really important to us, to Aventus, in no particular order. So obviously enterprises, then developers who might want to use some of our open source technology that is currently open source or in future will be open source, and obviously community members, the backbone of the Aventus network. So we are going to be doing a bit of a rebrand for Aventus, and by rebrand I don't even necessarily mean like new logo, new name, like that. All of that stuff is superficial. What I'm talking about is how we are positioned, what people's first impressions are of us and our ecosystem and the products and tools that we have, and how that makes them feel. Do we make them feel inspired and excited, or do we make them feel like, oh, for goodness sake, blockchain is really hard to use, I don't want to work with it? We obviously want to be the former, not the latter. So the first step is a cohesive brand and online presence across all platforms. So that means the website is getting a significant refresh. There's not going to be 2 separate websites anymore, one for Aventus Services and one for Aventus Network. Everything is coming together on one website that's going to be really easy to use, look really sexy, really give across the feeling that we want people to have when they see us, which is we are amazing technology with very forward-looking, and we have usability at the core of everything we do. Same with our dApps. They have long needed a bit of a refresh. So I'm so happy. I'm probably more excited than anyone else to be able to let you know that the dApps are going to get a bit of a facelift. They're going to be a lot more accessible. You're going to be able to access them directly via the main website rather than having to type in the URL every time you want to go to them. They're going to look cohesive with the rest of our brand. And then, like I mentioned earlier, referral websites from CoinGecko through to Trustpilot, depending on where our 3 key stakeholder groups are spending their time. That kind of feeds into my second point, which is the one on the top right of my screen. Might be the top left of yours, I don't know if this is mirrored. But we want to make sure that everything we put out there speaks to all 3 of our core target audiences. So we don't just want to be putting out content that is solely targeted to one of these groups and forgetting about the others. All 3 are really, really important, and we want executives at enterprises through to people who hold 5 ABT to feel like they are being spoken to and they matter, because they really do. Then the next goal we have is that we want everything about our brand to feel easy to navigate with a strong user experience. We want our customers and users and community members to feel like their experience and how they feel when they interact with Aventus is the most important thing. That is what is going to determine every single thing that we do in terms of marketing going forward. And then we want it to be focused on sharing information and driving leads. We want our website and everything we do online on social media to be informative. We want people to feel like we are thought leaders. We want them to feel like they can trust us. We want them to feel like if they need information or guidance about blockchain and Web3, we are the people to come to. And we want them to be able to access all of that easily. We don't want it to be, this goes back to the user experience point, we don't want it to be hard work. If someone wants to learn about what we're doing in aviation and problems that we're solving there, we don't want it to be really hard work for them to be able to access that information. We want them to be able to access it easily and intuitively, and that's ultimately what is going to drive leads and deals and use cases on the Aventus network if people find it easy to do so. So yeah, there are goals for our little brand refresh. Okay, bit of an overview of our go-to-market strategy and our growth strategy. And in order to do that, we've had to really look back and see what we've done so far, right? So obviously, the solutions that blockchain can provide and that Aventus can provide are so broad. It's such a general purpose technology, and it can be applied to so many use cases that it's kind of hard to target everyone at the same time, right? So what we've done is we've gone back and looked at the clients that we've had the most success with and tried to categorize them in order to try and be able to be a bit more targeted with, okay, this is where we've seen success so far and where we're most likely to see traction in future. So the first one obviously is our aviation supply chain product. And if we're going to start talking about the products used, one of the questions that we always get from the community is what uses the Aventus network versus what doesn't. So our supply chain product uses two main products. One, our Aventus Aviation app, which we've created specifically for allowing parties in the aviation supply chain space to interact. But also the Aventus network. Every transaction that is, every time an item is tracked on this app, that transaction is processed on the Aventus network. So it uses the app, but also the Aventus network. I've spoken a bit about the outcomes that we aim to drive from this product for these clients. This is a bit more for the enterprises that are interested in these products. So for this product, the outcomes are enhanced trust, security, and communication between stakeholders. And that means, as a result, they get to increase efficiency and reduce costs. Listed a bunch of customer and partner examples below that already use this product. This is probably our most built out and most used in terms of number of partners we have product out of everything we do. The next one is the loyalty and rewards product. So this is basically NFTs, right? They allow brands to increase their loyalty and relationships with an engagement with their end consumers. So Beatport is a really great example of this. Sports Illustrated, which Alan mentioned at Poker Decoded a few weeks ago, for those of you that listened to his talk, which is a project that we're currently working with to bring them to Web3, to launch their Web3 strategy. That's pretty exciting. They have tens of millions of active users. So, I mean, one of the biggest problems that Web3 has is, where do we get the users? Where do we get the engagement? Where do we get the active wallets? Sports Illustrated is a great example of a brand that already comes with those users. So that's loyalty and rewards. That uses our white label collectible marketplace. So what white label means is Aventus doesn't actually have an NFT marketplace that people can trade on like OpenSea. We don't do that. What we do is we build NFT marketplaces for our clients. So for Beatport, for example, we built them their own NFT marketplace that runs on Aventus technology. And again, while they have their own NFT marketplace, every single transaction, every single NFT that is sold or bought or traded on those white label marketplaces, those transactions happen on the Aventus network. And then the third product, this is probably, as far as I'm aware, the only one that doesn't utilize the Aventus network. This is one where this is our blockchain as a service product. So this is where a client will come to us and say, we want our own blockchain infrastructure, our own blockchain ecosystem. So that's what we did for EnergyWeb. We always have questions. Does EnergyWeb run on the Aventus network? The answer is no. They came to us and they had a very specific need of their own blockchain ecosystem that uses their token. So what we did for them and some other clients that have this very specific need is we built them an instance, basically like a copy paste of the Aventus network, but it's EnergyWeb X. We copy pasted our governance and lifting and lowering dApps. So EnergyWeb has their own versions of that, which are pretty much identical to the Aventus network ones, but run on their own blockchain network. So these are the three areas in terms of growth and lead generation that we're really going to be focusing on in the coming months. Now, if we're going to talk about content marketing, this is where we can really get into the nitty-gritty of the kind of things that we're going to be doing, that you're going to be seeing when it comes to marketing and what we do in our marketing department. So there's obviously going to be written content, both longer and short form. So from Twitter posts to threads, which are slightly longer, to longer articles, which again will really feed into positioning us as a thought leader at the forefront of an industry that is already quite cutting edge, and also educating people on who we are, what we do, for community members, how to use our dApps, to make that super clear. I've heard you when I've seen multiple requests of, okay, I don't really understand how to do lifting and lowering. It doesn't feel super intuitive. And that is being worked on. There are going to be updated, very clear instructions and videos of how to use those that are going to be very easily accessible to make it a much more seamless process for you guys to be able to use those tools and applications. I would just like to wait until the facelift has been done on them. I don't really want to record videos of us showing how to use those apps until they've been updated and they look a bit nicer. So please bear with us. They are coming, promise. So yeah, like I was saying, educational videos of how to use the apps, and also educational content on the products that we offer and the results that they drive for our key stakeholders on the enterprise side. So that written content can be from like articles and blog posts or LinkedIn pieces or reports and case studies that people can download. Going to be a big range. Video content, I just touched on that when I was talking about written content because they're very closely linked. So yeah, like I said, instructional videos, lots more testimonials coming from clients and also the community. You'll hear a bit more about the community side of that soon. But in terms of clients, the most effective way we can sell to new enterprises and convince them to build on the Aventus network by far is hearing from existing clients and why they like working with us. So there's going to be lots more video content from our current clients to hear from impartial, trusted source about how amazing we are. And then lots of AMAs and Q&As. We really want you guys, the community, to feel like you're part of this process. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear your feedback and take it on board and shape. This strategy is not set in stone. We want to shape it based on what you want to hear. You're one of our key pillar audiences that are really important to us. Influencer marketing. So this is a really good way to increase awareness and grow our Aventus network community. It's, obviously really important to speak to current community members, but a really great way to increase the community members and grow awareness is via influencers. So that strategy is well underway. Press, like I mentioned earlier, another really great way to reach enterprises is to be in the media that they are accessing. So an article in a top tier aviation publication is much more likely to be seen by someone who is in an enterprise looking for a solution than on our own Twitter page. It's way less likely that they're going to stumble across our Twitter page than they are going to be reading a publication that is targeted to them. And strategic ad placements in press as well. And then finally, events and speaking opportunities. So we're obviously, of course, going to keep attending the key blockchain events, the key Polkadot events, but we're also going to put a big focus on attending and speaking at the key enterprise events in order to be where they are. Rather than trying to force them to come to us, we go to where they are, and it increases the likelihood that they will become aware of us and interact with us significantly. Okay, so I thought it would be a really nice idea to share with you guys some of the traction we've seen with social media so far. So you might have hopefully noticed that we've been a bit more active on our Twitter page recently. We've been putting a lot more effort into the frequency that we post, but also the quality of the content that we post. And I'm really proud of how it's paying off so far. So this is an overview of the last 28 days. So we haven't been doing this very long. We're expecting with momentum for this to increase even further, but you can see our profile visits are up 140%, our likes are up over 200%, our impressions are up over 200%, our media views, I had to triple check this, are up over 4,000%. And it just goes to show we're putting a lot more effort into the quality of the content that we're putting out. We're putting a lot more time into it. It's definitely more time intensive, but it's really, really paying off. Our reach and engagement is already growing, which, yeah, I think that's great. And then I just wanted to touch quickly on, I have 2 minutes left before my time is up, but I really wanted to touch on our plan for community engagement and growth. I really wanted to take a moment to emphasize the importance of the Aventus Network community to everyone at Aventus, to me, to Alan, to everyone else that you are aware that exists, and even the people that you don't know exists that work behind the scenes. We have a lot of tech people that are not, they don't want to be front facing in the business. They would much rather be working behind the scenes, but they are there. They are dedicated. They are working to provide you with the best user experience that we possibly can. So we're going to do a few things. We're going to set up our Discord to, it's already set up. We're going to really utilize it and build a strategy around it to incentivize engagement and brand advocacy. We want to really reward people for being loyal and being brand advocates and spreading the word about us. So with that comes, we're going to introduce a structure where you guys can win prizes for being brand advocates. Whether that's one-to-one calls with specific team members, if you want to chat to me, if you want to speak to Alan, if you are really interested in speaking to one of our devs, then I'm sure that I can convince one of them to do a call. Shout outs from our Twitter page just to show our appreciation. There will also be AVT prizes to be won for most best brand advocates, I guess. And we really want to make sure that we're listening to what you have to say. Not just listening, but taking on board and iterating and adapting based on your feedback. Nothing, like I've said, nothing is set in stone. This is not us telling you this is what's happening. This is a collaboration. We're completely decentralized. I am here to execute in your guys' best interest. So I want to hear what you want to see. And then finally, this is a much longer term plan, but we're working towards a completely autonomous governance structure. So some of you may know that anyone can put forward a governance proposal. There is a process for that, but it does involve people at Aventus currently having to execute that, having to post that on the governance platform for you. The big picture, long-term vision is that anyone will be able to do that autonomously without having to have someone execute for them. So yeah, wow, I've been speaking for half an hour. I thank you to everyone that has joined and is listening. I am so grateful. I'm late for another call, so I don't have time to answer questions on this Twitter space, but I will jump on Telegram once I'm done here. Please do share your questions either in our Telegram group, I think it's Aventus_official, or on Twitter, or you can message me on Telegram privately. My username is just @Ellie Hyman. Yeah, really keen and excited to hear your thoughts, your feedback, even just words of encouragement. Like we're usually sat here working, and the nature of the way humans interact is people usually only take time to make comments when they want something to change. I'm a big believer in sharing comments just to say that you like something. So if anyone has any nice comments, please do let me know. It's always welcome and appreciated. And thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me, and I'm sure I will be back soon. Bye.